Good morning, everyone. Good morning, Tim. So nice to be here. I was actually really excited this morning. I was like, we're
So
going live.
it's the start of it. It's the start of it.
I was tuning in and in my meditation to see what wanted to come through for today. And it was so interesting. The information that came through was definitely for me too. I was like, okay, I get it. So how are you perceiving this period right now, Tim?
It's I feel like a stuck record a little bit at the moment. It's we will never ever experience anything like we're experiencing at the moment again. And the situations, the particular alchemy of our current circumstances are so utterly unique, unpredictable, and very much I'm seeing so much power coming into the hands or the returning of um, the power to the light workers in the form of sovereignty, mastery of self. This year has been incredible, not just for exterior changes in the world around us. I mean, it still looks like an absolute clown show out there politically. It's going to accelerate, it's increasing, but we're starting to see things occurring that are indicative of major structural change. But in the meantime, we're being called to detach from all of that and really focus upon bringing the self into alignment. I'm going through massive changes on my own personal level, on on the healing journey, and I know
Mm.
you have as well recently, Mia. I've just whereas the other years have been very bang, 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 like intense with the energies, this feels like the year where we're actually starting to see the dividends of the work that we're putting in because things are actually shifting and changing as within, so without. Everything around us is beginning to um, morph into a different frequency, and now it's tangible.
Yeah, it's interesting because I feel that there's not so much new things coming in for us. It's just deeper layers. And it had so incredible sessions this week. And in one of the sessions, my guides were showing, or our guides, the clients and my guides were showing me like deeper layers of, for an example, karma. And we've been on this journey for like over 20 years, both you and me. And if
Yeah.
anyone would ask me, "Do you know what karma is?" I would be like, "Yes, I know what karma is." And then, and
Mhm.
then they just come in and just show me deeper layers. For
Yeah.
an example, they gave an example: if you are being given a gift and you accept that gift,
Mm.
but you feel that the person that is giving that gift for you is having, they want a lot of love from you and then have a lot of expectations. It's not like a just clear gift, and you play that game along because you keep saying, "Oh, thank you, thank you, thank you so much," and then you're feeling like guilt, like you need to give something back. That's
Mm.
actually karma. That's like really creating contracts. And so there's so many deep layers, and I know that all of us are seeing the things that we've been taught in the spiritual journey is now getting deeper and deeper and deeper because we're ready to see our shadows. We're ready to see where we still are controlled by the programs, the conditioning, our upbringing, the ancestral lineage that we've chosen. We are more ready to see, like, oh my God, I still have work to do here, because we're ready to compassionately witnessing it. But we are also ready to see more of who we are and
Mm.
like really own that, and like, okay, but this is who I am and I'm here, and my responsibility is to show up in those gifts and not play the game of the controllers and make myself smaller, because that's also giving consentment to the game they want us to play.
Absolutely. And speaking of the games that they want us to play, there's the ever predictable increase in the distractions outside. But I don't know. I know you feel very much the same way as I do about this, Mir. It's the way to deal with this is utter complete detachment from it. There's one little thing that I just want to touch on. All of us are in some way still plugged into the mechanisms of the matrix, the survival mechanisms. We have to be, unless we can kind of float ourselves off to an island location where we have absolutely no kind of contact with the world and its current structures. In some way, we are tied in. We're tied in financially. We're tied in because we're kind of like we have contact with the governments, the powers that were, and everything like that. But it's a moving, changing structure in progress. What has been made really apparent to me recently, and you mentioned it, via compassionate witnessing those attachments, not being angry with ourselves because we're still having to be plugged in some way, and actually making good of everything that we currently have with us, with the expectation of being able to mold to sudden shifts and changes should and if and when they occur, which is kind of if you feel into the field at the moment, there's a big vibe of expectation. I'm seeing it coming up in posts. Or what's going to happen next? Or when's the hammer going to fall? What are they doing? None of that concerns us. What we need to be not worried about, what we need to be focused upon is keeping ourselves in the highest frequency possible. I know I've been beating this drum for quite a few years now, but that elevation in frequency, we bring it all back to self. The end of the day, the world outside of us is a collective reflection of the internal mechanisms of everybody that's been kind of co-creating the world that we live in. And as we shift internally, all of that picture outside will change. So that's where we are at the moment. The internal pictures are shifting. We're coming back to kind of like that source energy, that love for ourselves. And once we really start to work on our shadows, our attachments, who we truly are, who we might have expected ourselves to be, our shortfallings, the things that we're absolutely wonderful at, because let's face it, all of us are good at something, and really working on those, becoming human, but the human that vibrates at a fifth dimensional frequency rather than a third. That's a big shift. That's all happening in real time at the moment.
Yeah, and it's really like, when the outer chaos happens, which happens several times a day. Just the other day, there was like this, chaos amongst the computers, like everything just died yesterday for a while. And everyone was like, is it happening now? Is it happening? And I was like, oh,
Global
but
blackout.
even like other things that they're sending out to the streaming out to the media, that can create that outer chaos. But it can also be personal things that creates outer chaos. So it's just keep, observe, discern, move into center, realign. And that's going to be the practice now more and more and more. It's in the small things, but it's also when massive amount of emotions rise inside of us, because many of us are clearing for the collective. Many of us are here, really, and just flushing everything through our bodies. So when that just comes and we don't know, like, where is this storm coming from?
Yeah.
It's just center, like really observe, discern, center, and realign, like that, like over and over again. And when that becomes, a 3-second practice, or maybe 5 minutes sometimes if it's very intense, that's when we become so empowered. It's just like self-mastery that is needed. But I think it's also so interesting to see how the controllers, they're not even hiding anymore. I mean, look at all these people, these celebrities that just looks younger and younger. They get like 20 years younger in one day. And we all know about the rituals they're undergoing, but they're not even ashamed to show it anymore. It's like, really? Who is believing that someone that is like 60 or 50 suddenly look like 20 in a day, and they even show up in it?
Yeah,
And we just see this.
It's crazy, isn't it?
It's crazy, and we're like, we know who you're working with and what you're doing on the night time, and down in the tunnels and whatever is
Mm.
going on. It's like, and they're not afraid anymore to show themselves.
I'm not so much that it's lack of fear, Mia. I think there's actually a huge amount of fear amongst them. I think what's happened is there's been so much light that has been shone upon them. And there's one very, very important ingredient that's also been added to this year is their ability to access magical, like the some people call it loosh, other people call it astral entities. That magic supply has been turned off, so there is no astral tap anymore. So what's happened? They've all had to come above surface to where we are and actually use whatever distraction methods are available to gain that magic from the field. And of course, we're all like, yeah, whatever. And so the magical supply is becoming less and less. Of course, there's people that are still invested in it. There's
Mm.
huge things going on the TV that attract people's attention. They cause division. There's a lot of political unrest going on in the country. Again, that's an energy source. But there's nothing specifically coming from the astral like it used to do. So this, I believe, personally, is why we're seeing all of this very eye level surface in your face stuff going
Yeah.
on because they've got no choice. They're
Yeah,
literally,
they're desperate. They're desperate, but also a lot of their resources also underneath the tunnels and all of this is being dismantled and cleared. So they're just getting desperate, and people, of course, some people are attached to it for a while, but it's so obvious. So, and the awakening is all over the planet, and we know that this Lionsgate period, I mean, it will be starting like massively next week when the Lionsgate is opening. We know that this coming month, like from 25th of July to 28th of August, there will be a mass awakenings, and it's so good that they just show up in their clown faces and the shows and theater they're creating. So like even the asleep ones will be awake and they will be like, oh my God, I can't keep up with what they try to show us. But July is also the Cancerian month. And it's always about healing. If you look backward on July, July is always a month of deep, deep healing.
mm,
And even if it's easier for us to do the healing now, it's also deeper. It's the deepest layers. It's the places that we haven't managed to heal before. They're coming back now, and we can no longer hide from them. And the message for this period was really like, to honor this period exactly as it is and not try to change it.
no.
You know, it's a pause period. If you think how it was last year, like before Lionsgate and even during Lionsgate, we feel that there's change bubbling up. So many of us are like, okay, let's go. So where is the change, And you're like waiting and the timing is not there. And you wait and you're like, really? And it's like if we miss the meaning of this period. So let's say if you feel lack now, it's because you need to feel lack. Don't try to change it and sort it out. Like honor this period. That was really like the message right now. Honor the period as it is because we're building momentum and we're fueling ourselves up for the period that will come after the Lion's Gate.
Yeah,
Mm.
yeah. And for those of you that are kind of tuning in and you might be feeling like you've taken in as much as you possibly can, this is again an opportunity to just access some self-love, give yourself the time and the space. Um, Sometimes it is really good to just tune out of the field and take stock of where you are. That I believe is what the energy of this Lion's Gate is about. There's going to be an energy that's going out all around the planet that is it's for everybody, but it's going to be specifically targeting the kind of the layers of the unawakened, the people that have agreed to do this journey, but are still kind of lagging behind due to programming, due to being caught up in what we refer to as the matrix. This wave of energy is going to be colossal. So for those of us that have already integrated, we've already done so much work. sit back, apply some self-love, go and sit on the grass in the outside with a friend and drink some cacao, look at the sky, talk, earth, bring yourself back into nature, back into alignment, do some exercise, deep breathing, everything to just kind of bring yourself back to center, back to that core component of where you are. And then when you feel realigned, step back into the field again and do this as many times as you need to do. That's really important, that we can recognize when we've reached that point at the moment and take action immediately and allow
Yeah.
ourselves to have that space. Lesson I'm learning.
Yeah, but it's different to be, I feel also it's different to be disciplined and to, discipline for me before was like take action.
Mm.
No, discipline, like my discipline right now, and what I'm feeling that many of those around us are doing now is like, I will continue my spiritual discipline. I will still meditate. I will still connect. That's like the main thing every day. But I allow everything to be as it is. I'm not forcing to manifest anything. I'm not forcing. And if I try to do that, it will just backlash because the energies are so strong and amplified, and we're actually just supposed to receive. So it's all about, the change that is upon us. We know change, big change is upon us on all levels. But that change is supposed to come organically to you. We are not giving consent to any inorganic energies. And of course, we will try every now and then. We see someone and we're like, oh, she's manifesting, or she's doing this, or he's doing that. And you're like kicking in, your soldiers, kicking in your light warrior. And you're like, am I behind? Am I behind? And it's like,
Yeah,
no, this is the
always that
new
way.
energy that we've been talking about so much, like
Mm.
create your field in the most expansive coherence of the highest frequency you can hold and consciousness level, and it will come to you. It will come to you. Like no more forcing, no more chasing, nothing of that. So all the inorganic needs to be purged, right? And you're doing a massive detoxification now, Tim. I was doing it just before and I'm still continuing. Who's not, right? So we're
Yeah.
purging everything that is inorganic, that the outer forced us really, or controlled us, or programmed us to plug into. And now we're plugging out from everything, like plugging out, plugging out, plugging out. Yeah.
It's one of the things that I'm really seeing that's coming up, and some of these can be quite subconscious as well, as the addiction field. The addiction field has massive links to the matrix, and again, this is fuel for the what we call of the previous reality. Everybody's hooked into it one way or another. It can be scrolling on your smartphone. It can be medicine. It can be a pattern of thought. It can be,
It can be helping people.
yeah, exactly. It can be over exercising. It can
My
be,
addiction.
yeah, and mine as well. It's so all of these things we are becoming hyper aware of, or if we're not consciously aware of it, then our body that is now being, and I don't use this word lightly, forced into alignment because we've agreed to do this journey. So therefore, the benchmark of the frequencies has been set. And as we move into that, our physicality has to shift to match it. And if there's anything within our bodies and fields that is out of alignment with that frequency, it's going to become very, very loud, very shouty, and it's going to bring our attention to it in the physical body, that beautiful vessel that we're all inhabiting at the moment. That's where we are. So this is a very physical year for all of us. The nervous system, the muscles, the bones, the lungs, the blood vessels, all of that, it's all calling to be brought into a state of purity. And
Yes,
for some
it's
of us,
about health.
journey,
It's
it is
about
about health.
health.
That's
The
it.
whole year is about health, like really. And
Yeah.
that's also the next level of spirituality. We knew this is the year 8. It's all about spirituality and our mission. And our mission is to not, run out. So be so spiritually disciplined and aligned that we notice when our, addiction, we all have addictions. Everyone has addiction. Like listening to this, maybe you think like, no, I don't drink, I don't do this, but we are addicted. We're addicted to our children and their journey. We're addicted to helping people or whatever it is. So we all have these addictions that we tend to run to when it's uncomfortable. And also that, and many of these things, have been serving us. And now our mission template is changing. So many of us are receiving new mission templates. And for most of us, the mission is changing after this year. And that's why we've been called also, Tim, to do the preparation of the New Earth 2025, the 6-month journey, which is really going to be, it's a preparation right now for 2025. And in 2025, we are going to be set and run to really operate 100% from that new template that is like 100% aligned with the new earth that we came here to create.
That's, if you think about it with the human mind, which all of us still have, it's massive. We've as with the majority of this ascension process, we've been given vast tasks to achieve in record amounts of, like, tiny periods of time. This whole shift is being jumping from 3D to 5D in a matter of 20 years. In fact, it's going to be less than 20 years, because astonishingly we're ahead of schedule. And if you look at the Sirius constellation, the souls that inhabited Sirius and all the planets and the realms around that, they did what excuse me, they did what we're doing now in 300 years, which seems like a really nice, long, relaxed period of time. But even during that, they said they felt pushed, they felt squished. Everybody had to work really hard, yet we are doing it in 20. So that's incredible. What we're doing here is highly charged. But what makes it so different is that we are all so amazingly well trained before we come down to this planet. And it's simply remembering that, salvaging it, recollecting it, bringing it out the halls of Menti and embodying it. It's not like we can just reach in and grab the books and suddenly become the masters that we were previously. We've got to go through the motions of fast track learning it again. And that's the pathway that we are all on some level. We're all bringing that back through. It's incredible. Like I said earlier, you'll never recreate this again. And we'd have never been able to predict how it was going to go. Nobody with a crystal ball was looking at this period and going, oh, do you know what? Halfway through 2024, during the Lionsgate, everybody on the light path will experience this exactly. Nobody had a clue what we were going to go through. So this period is totally unique. I love it.
Yeah, definitely. And it's so much about, right now I feel we understand more and more of like who we are individually, but we also understand that we are never separated and that we are one, and that we don't need to be attached to be united, that we can still belong, we can feel that unity and that oneness because it's inside of us. And then we can make more choices of connect or disconnect. But there's also extremely strong outer forces that are streaming so strong AI signals at the moment to our brain waves that makes us more distracted than usual. Very, very much. And it's harder to focus at moments. It's hard to feel clear and sharp, and that's why also coming together every now and then is so incredibly important. Like, I can't say how the difference in working together, still you're working in your own space, but you're doing it committed together in comparison to trying to do the same work by yourself. Together here we become unstoppable. We become this force of unity and oneness, which cannot be attacked in that same way as you can by yourself. So, and we're all the time experiencing this, we get a little bit tired to be connected, so we are alone and suddenly we're isolated, because we were used to isolate ourselves before the awakening, before more people were awakened. But now we can check, okay, I have my own solitude time. now I start to isolate. Okay, let's come together. So it kind of goes a little bit like this now, but I still feel like it's so important to be together right now, to keep the spiritual discipline.
Mm. It really helps to bounce. I mean, we're all sharing our experiences continuously. This is what I love so much about the collective unity that we found. And like when you and I first started on this pathway, Mira, it was not like this, was it at
No.
all? We were isolated.
Mm.
We'd maybe have one or two, or if we were very lucky, we'd have a group of people that we could communicate with, we could share our experiences with, but it'd always be kind of in the confines of our little kind of spiritual buddy huddle on a weekend, and then on the Monday we'd go back to the grind of the third dimension. It's not like that anymore. Every single day of the week we have the opportunity to be in a state where we communicate, where we can meet, we can gather, because there are so many of us now, whether it's people that have just newly awoken and they're hungry and thirsty for information and for light and for knowledge, and to really kind of basically integrate what they've been a part of and now what they've stepped out of, or whether it's souls who are a little bit more seasoned and they've been done a few more laps of the sun, sort of thing.
Yeah.
It's
And
very different now. It's very different. There is if you're listening to this and you are experiencing a period of what we would describe as spiritual isolation, it is a specific test on the spiritual pathway. And it's usually done when people have stepped up a level. The frequency has gone from like 0 to 60 in a very, very short space of time. And the spiritual teams tend to stand back and observe, and connections can be a little bit difficult, very difficult to achieve sometimes. And the observation is, how does this individual manage on their own? I call it going dark. But that seems to be happening a lot less to people than it used to. It was very much more a theme of the first decade of this ascension shift. So if you are experiencing that at the moment, just roll with it, observe, take time to breathe within yourself, and just expect people to come into your life, because they won't be far away.
yeah, and also said by that, I have heard many, many, many. We've been talking a lot about that the false gurus and dark teachers are falling now, and I've had so many reaching out to me and telling me that they have left their spiritual communities or the guru that they've been following, and this has been the last month, and I'm like, oh my God, it's really happening. And if you've been experiencing like a trauma like that I know many has been like seduced by dark teachers, spiritual teachers and stuff, it's so important, to allow that healing to take place, but understand that you're a sovereign being and you're allowed to be in whatever group you want to, and no one can say to you that you can only be with us. If you're only with me and team, you can be with no one else. That's crazy. But we're getting, thank God, we are getting awakened, and we understand that we are sovereign, and we will want to be and follow different things, will resonate at different times with us. But there's so many of you guys that are doing the online advanced ascension journey right now with us, which is super fun, and we can feel that in the field. Like when we're done with this live, we're gonna jump on that Facebook group that we have there and do a little bit of a transmission to you guys that are doing the online course right now as a preparation for the 6-month journey that starts in January. And then we're going to jump to the Facebook group there for those that are doing the 6-month and already signed up for that starts in January 2025. So you guys that already signed up for that, we will be doing transmissions there each month for you, because you have decided to commit already now to stabilize the field. You are like gatekeepers, and all of you that feels a resonant to commit already now, like 5-6 months before we start, you are a big part of assisting me and Tim in creating the grounding of the incredible work that we're going to do 2025 together. And then I mean, I'm so excited because we already sold like 50% of the tickets to Wedmore to
Oh,
May 2025. And I mean, I need that injection. I need the Wedmore injection with you
it's
guys.
it's becoming a yearly dose of
Yeah.
sustenance, isn't it? It's that's what it is. It's basically it's almost halfway through the year. Winter's been long, cruel, and hard, and it's just like let's go to Wedmore and
Yeah.
regenerate.
Oh my God, those 3 days. It's like, yeah, I need to stay addicted to that. I'm gonna keep that addiction.
I think that's a
Spending them.
healthy one. I think
Yeah,
that's a
I
healthy
think
one. I
so
think we
too.
can take that one.
So we will be putting the links there, guys, for you. We're really feeling that we're building up, like we are so excited for the work that is coming, and
Yeah,
we are really happy for all of you that are, you're doing the work already now with us in your own pace, doing that online course. So we put the link there if any one of you wants to join. And for you that did it with us last year, please redo it if you feel you're gonna experience it differently. We'll put the link for Wedmore if you want to travel to Glastonbury, Wedmore, and be with us for 3 life-changing days. And then, of course, the
dancing
link.
as well.
Oh, dancing, exactly. Tim is coming on the Friday already this time, and he promised to dance, dance, dance on the stage. You
Yeah,
already did it last time,
I
but
did,
you're
didn't
gonna,
I?
yeah, yeah, you did, but now we're
I
gonna
did
dance fully.
got in there.
And then, yes, a full-on January
Mm.
preparing for the new earth. Like, that makes me so excited. I know we're gonna be many from all over the world.
Yeah, yeah.
But until then, let's breathe all of us together and just welcome the opening of Lionsgate and let's flow through these energies.
Perfect.
Mm, that background suited really well, Tim,
Looks
that I
stunning,
created.
Mary.
Yeah, you're protected also. I did a protection code there
Lovely.
behind.
Thank you.
Thank you, Tim. Thank you, everyone, for
Thank you,
listening
Maria.
to us.
Yeah.
We're going to pop to the Facebook group if anyone wants to come there that are part of it.
Jumping over.
Blessings to you all. Thank you for all that you're doing and everything you're anchoring into Earth. You're all so important. You are the mission.
Absolutely. Sending you all so much love. Thank you for joining us this morning.
Blessings.
Mwah.
Bye. Okay.